welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's program, 3 offensive free agents the Texans could add before the start of training camp. Now, the Texans necessarily don't need to add anybody. They're not like hard-pressed at a ton of positions, but there have been some rumors flying out there, and we've done a lot of free agent videos in the past, and they've been very, defense heavy. So I wanted to, maybe take a spin and look at the offensive side of the football and say, hey, who are some guys the Texans could add if they need to add, some depth at certain positions? I'll break those guys down in just a moment, but first, we're in the month of June. Obviously, our AFC South rival, Tennessee Titans, they have a channel here at Chat Sports as well called Titans Today. I challenged our Titans Today hosts saying, hey, I think the Texans can get easily 100 more subs than you in the month of June. They said, challenge accepted, so I need your help right now. We have a good little lead to start out, but I want to bury them. I want to absolutely bury the Titans in the month of June. So if you haven't already, go down and hit that sub button for daily Texans videos all year long throughout the entire offseason. We're bringing you daily content around the Houston Texans, and hopefully we're going to smash the Tennessee Titans. So go down and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, probably the reason why most of you clicked into this video, the biggest free agent target on offense, in my opinion, could be Ryan Tannehill, the former quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, see why I had to do the sub battle at the beginning of today's show, because we are talking about the former Titan in Ryan Tannehill. Last year, obviously, didn't play most of the season, had 64.8% completion percentage, over 1,600 yards, 4 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Definitely on the downhill turn of his career, but I still think he could be a decent backup in the NFL. And it doesn't sound like DeMeco Ryans and company are very secure in who they think is going to be the backup quarterback behind C.J. Stroud. This is coming from practice on June 5th. Aaron Wilson reported that competition is real. Texans coach DeMeco Ryans on backup quarterbacks Davis Mills and Case Keenum. And honestly, the question comes down to, do we trust either of these guys? If Stroud goes down, do we trust Mills or Keenum to hold down the fort if need be? Because we saw last year in the couple games that Stroud was out, they started Keenum to begin with, and then that obviously wasn't the answer. They brought in Davis Mills, and if they trust Keenum over Mills, if they really don't trust Mills to come in and start for this team, and Keenum put up those kind of performances, are we in a little bit of trouble if Stroud has to miss any time this season? So I want to ask the question to you folks at home. Confidence level in Mills or Keenum to start games this year. Scale it 1 to 10. Let me know down in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get an ad break here on YouTube, perfect timing. Just let the ad play and answer today's pinned question. Confidence level in the backup quarterbacks for the Houston Texans. If it's below a 7, if you typed anything, 3, 4, 5, 6, then I would consider signing Ryan Tannehill, because even though, like I said, he's not a starting quality quarterback, as a backup, he's a pretty good option. He started for a while in this league, a veteran in this league, and obviously last year, 10 games played, didn't put up great numbers. 2022 was but we go back to 2020, 2021, he was a legit starter in this league. And I think having a guy like that, especially across enemy lines, and seeing, what Tannehil knows about the Tennessee Titans, certain players on the Tennessee Titans, could help C.J. Stroud not only help him beat the Tennessee Titans, but also other AFC South teams, because Tannehil obviously knows a lot about the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars from his time there in Tennessee. And we've seen over the past couple of years, ever since Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, the premium that top teams put on backup quarterbacks. And now the Texans, they're in that conversation. They're a top team in the AFC. So whenever you're one of the top dogs, whenever you're one of the top teams in the conference, whenever you're trying to vie for, a top playoff position, trying to vie for, being one of the Super Bowl contenders in the AFC, you got to make sure that you have depth at the quarterback position. And God forbid anything happens with C.J. Stroud and he has to sit out a couple weeks. You're not, oh my God, head on fire. What are we going to do? The season's ruined. You need to have a good backup quarterback, as we've seen with some of these other teams. People like, Gardner Minshew bouncing around from team to team. I could see Ryan Tannehill being that kind of guy, a backup who is bouncing from team to team and kind of helping add some quarterback depth to some of these contending teams. So now that I kind of laid it all out there, gave the reasoning why, what do you say? You call the shots. Would you sign Ryan Tannehill if you were the Houston Texans? If Nick Caserio said, hey, what do you think? Should we sign Ryan Tannehill? What would you tell him? Let me know down in the comments section. Say yes or no. And let me know the reasoning why you would say yes or no. If it's no, let me know why you would say no to signing Ryan Tannehill. Do you believe in Davis Mills? Or do you just think Ryan Tannehill is washed? Let me know your thoughts down below. Next up, the next free agent target for the Houston Texans on offense would be Connor Williams, former offensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins and priorly the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Connor Williams last year, 9 games played, 1 sack allowed. He offers you a lot of flexibility if you sign him, especially in the depth department, because he can play center, he can play guard, and he can play tackle. And as we look at the Texans' offensive line depth chart heading into next year, Kenyon Green, Scruggs, 2 newer guys on the interior, Titus Howard battling a lot of health issues at the right tackle spot. Now, the one downside of adding a guy like Connor Williams is I don't think he'll be ready to start the season. I don't know if he'll be ready to go week 1. But for this scenario and why I think Connor Williams could be a fit with the Houston Texans is you have a lot of young guys on the interior. Scruggs, Kenyon Green, Jarrett Patterson vying for that left guard and center spot. So if you want to, give it to the young guys, say, hey, you're going to start out the year, we're going to give you the reins, we're going to see how you do, and things don't end up going well for any of these guys, then you have somebody who you can plug and play, who is a good player at either the guard or center position. And that's why I love the idea of signing Connor Williams. If he can't find another team, if he can't find, anybody to sign him this year because of his health issues, I think the Texans could be a good fit because they probably won't necessarily want him to start right away, but he could be a good, safety net option at the center, at the guard position if need be. Hell, he can even play tackle if you absolutely need him to, because he's played tackle before in the past with his years at the University of Texas. So I think Connor Williams could be a good, chess piece that you add to this offensive line and kind of plug and play wherever you need him to be. Now we have one more option, free agent target on the offensive side of the football. But if you haven't gotten them already, go check out all the new Texans hats with our friends over at Fanatics. You can check them all out right now when you go to chatsports.com/Texans hats. All of these options are available. Half of them are on sale. I love the new logo. The new Texans secondary logo looks fresh. Why not get it on a brand new hat? Once again, chatsports.com/Texans hats. Great summer option right here. Great summer option if you ask me. That link is going to be in the comment section and description of today's video. Go check them out. Go do a little window shopping and see if any hats. It's summertime. It's hot. The sun's out. Why not get a Texans hat? Go rep it out at the bars. Go rep it out whenever you're out and about and be one of the coolest guys in your friend group because you have the brand new Texans logo on a hat. Lastly, Dalvin Cook, running back formerly of the New York Jets, is the last free agent target on offense in today's video. And I know what you're saying. Do the Texans really need a running back? And right now, necessarily, they don't need a running back. They have Joe Mixon, who they added this offseason. You have Dameon Pierce in his 3rd year trying to, bounce back, have a good year. The Texans also drafted Jawar Jordan. But this is more if any of these guys get injured, throughout the training camp, throughout preseason, whatever. I think Dalvin Cook could be a good safety valve option if anybody gets injured on this depth chart. I don't think when you have Dameon Pierce, when you have Joe Mixon, when you have Jawar Jordan, that you necessarily need to add a guy like Dalvin Cook, but it wouldn't hurt if somebody does get injured. And it's worth noting, Dalvin Cook is currently training in Houston with the same trainer as Tank Dell and John Mechie, named Justin Allen. Tank Dell actually gave him a shout-out in minicamp this week saying, this guy has really helped me get back to it. This guy's really helped me perfect my craft. Same thing with John Mechie. He really helped him come back after beating cancer, really helped him get back into game shape, helped him get back into, running those NFL-style routes. Dalvin Cook has been working out with him in Houston, close relationship with him, possibly close relationship with Tank Dell and John Mechie, thus this organization. So I could see Dalvin Cook being somebody who the Texans possibly bring in if they need somebody at the running back position. That's all I have for you on today's video, folks. If you want to continue the conversation, I'm on X at Jeremy Chuggs and on Instagram at Jeremy_Chuggs. Always down to chop it up with anybody. Hit me up on either of these platforms. My DMs are always open. As always, hope you all have a great day, and let's go Texans.